right, what's up, everybody? It's Amar, and
Austin, it's your boy.
from the Bring Your A Game podcast, like we're back. It's 2021. We're excited to bring you guys like some new ideas we're going to be doing this year, like some new things we're going to be doing with the podcast. One of them is we're going to be doing a segment called "What Would You Do." It's going to be a real quick thing we do every week. It's one topic, two choices, two takes on it. Just something like real quick, kind of almost like a mini episode, just to kind of bridge the gap in between our full episodes. So for this first version of or first edition of What Would You Do? Here's a scenario, Austin. All
I'm
right,
ready.
so
Hit me with it.
okay, so if Super Bowl 55 comes down to a goal line situation, and I'm thinking like Seahawks Patriots 2015, the infamous beast mode play.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
If it comes down to that and Tampa Bay's got the ball, what would you do? Give it to Leonard Fournette or call a pass play with Tom Brady?
I would pass. And we kind of talked about this before. We hit record. And yeah, I think I gotta, and I'll let you say your piece on it for sure. But yeah, I would have to pass. And the biggest thing is like the most obvious play call. Yes, was to run Marshawn Lynch. But like when you really break it down, I can't argue with the play call that the Seahawks had themselves, you know, and Tom Brady being Tom Brady, he will make that happen every day of the week. And you know what? Year three, Russell Wilson may not have made that throw, but year 10, Russell Wilson makes that throw every single time. You better believe it. So like I would pass in there. And I won't go into too much of the semantics, but I mean it wasn't I wouldn't say it was the right play call, but it was not the wrong play call. And the biggest reason being is they had one timeout, you're on second down, you're four down territory, right?
Mm,
Like you make that pass with the hopes that either your receiver catches that football or nobody does at all. And like, yes, Russell Wilson didn't necessarily throw a bad ball, but he didn't throw a great ball. You know what I mean?
mm,
And Malcolm Butler, who just like he got some credit but doesn't get enough. But like that dude deserves all of the credit. That was an incredible read, an incredible defensive play. Like that was just one where everything clicked for him, everything made sense, and he went for it. And any one of us who has actually played sports, regardless of the level, like you've even just pick up dude. I've had pick up basketball games myself where I'm hitting everything. All of a sudden, I know how to Euro step like Manu Ginobili. Like I mean, it's nuts, dude. But like, it just you get into that zone where like nothing you can do is wrong, right? And it just happened. But coming down to this Super Bowl, yeah, I think the obvious choice, just like for that Seahawks team, was the obvious choice was to give the ball to beast mode. The most polarizing offensive player on that team at the time. I think the obvious choice is to give the ball to Tom Brady. He's the GOAT. Put it in his hands and let him win that game.
mm.
It's not Fournette's story to finish writing. And so I think you have to throw it in that situation. But again, I don't necessarily like I don't lose sleep over that play call like some other Seahawks fans do, honestly, because I get it, dude. It was just an amazing defensive play. You make that if you run the ball and they stuff beast mode, which they absolutely, I'm not saying that they would have stuffed him, but they were going to gear up for it. They were lined up for it. Then you're in a situation where you have to use that timeout. And then guess what you have to do on third and fourth down? You have to run the ball. You have to. Like, there's no other option, no other choice. Like, that is so, yeah, you have to take the one opportunity that you have to maybe throw a little zest at him just to kind of, again, the point of that play or that throw is either your receiver catches it or nobody does. So a guy just made an incredible jump on the football, right? So I don't hate it. And I think that if the Bucks were in the same situation, yeah, I think you have to do that. In the most typical sense, your risk reward in that exact situation is it plays very heavily into the reward. Like your risk is very minimal. And dude, how many times during the regular season, the playoffs, the what have we seen that happen? Right? Like I watched Aaron Rodgers in almost that exact situation blow that throw like 3 times in the NFC Championship game. There was numerous times where he was right within the 5-10 yard line of the red zone or near the one and missed Lazard on 2 different slant routes that he should have had that should have just been quick, boom, bang, bang plays like that. So I mean, it's not. So again, I'm getting going on a rant, getting into semantics, but yeah, I think you throw the ball in that situation. And again, I think if you put year 10 Russell Wilson in that situation, he makes that throw, and I think Tom Brady does as well.
Hmm.
So
Um, I say so. The reason why when I have defended Seattle's decision to pass the ball and when they had it, what my reasoning was given to Marshawn was like too obvious, right?
right,
Um, so in this situation, you could say, having it be Brady's game to decide is too obvious, and they're going to see it coming, and there's going to be a back shoulder fade to Mike Evans, or it's going to be something to Gronk, and like they'll see it coming, and so you should give it to Fournette to surprise them and score. And good as a goal line back as Fournette is, he's a beast. He could, I mean, we saw him, truck guys against the Packers. This Fournette isn't that Marshawn Lynch. And like you said, that Russell Wilson isn't this Tom Brady. So I have to agree with you. If it comes down to it, I would put it in Brady's hands and let him decide it. Maybe even let him call the play. I mean,
right.
he's seen every situation you can see, like from his perspective. I mean, in that case, you maybe even trust him more than Bruce Arians to make the call.
And that's
Um,
something that like people need to understand. That's a very like high point of respect. And do you like we just watched Russell or Pete Carroll and Brian Schottenheimer like part ways over philosophical differences.
mhm,
Like Pete Carroll is a great coach, but he's also like he is very like this is my team, right? So
mhm,
do you honestly think he's going to let his third year quarterback call plays at the line? I mean,
right.
get real. He is not Peyton Manning in that asset. You know what I mean?
Mhm,
Not that I'm sure Russell Wilson has some of those freedoms in this day and age, right? That's why I would let year 10 Russell Wilson, and that's why Tom Brady could make that play call. Because, like, not even the Tom Brady's and the Russell Wilsons, they're not going out there every time and like, all right, guys, I'm making, I'm calling the play. And look, typical sense is that the head coach and the offensive coordinator, whoever throws those play calls out to the quarterback through his headset, they get like a 10 to 20-second window, right? And
mhm,
and usually they're given 2 plays. They're saying, okay, run I write 32 Z hitch or Z flat whatever. So that's like your run play through the 2 gap, right?
mhm,
Or a was it 5 step Z hook and ladder, blah blah blah. So then he calls both of those, and what the quarterback will relay is he'll relay that exact thing, hit you with a Oklahoma or something of that sort,
mhm.
and then hit you with the second play. So then when you get up there, if he yells Oklahoma, okay, well, now we're switching to the pass or whatever.
Yeah.
But most of the time, these quarterbacks are not given that kind of freedom to just like make it up or call what they think is the best or like, no, you call the coach's plays. The
Mhm.
coach is the one that's sitting on the sidelines watching this chess match. And if you don't call, like that can cause immediate turmoil, stress, and we just watched an
Yeah.
offensive coordinator lose his job over it. So, not to cut you off, but yeah, people really need to understand it is not as simple as like, well, he should have just called an audible. This is not Madden. It does not work like
Yeah.
that.
And year 21 Tom Brady or year 10 Russell Wilson, it's a lot different than,
Right.
third year starter Russell Wilson, where somebody like Tom Brady, like the coach, they have their point of view, they have their perspective, whether they're up in the booth or down in the field. They're not behind the center and they're
Right.
not in the huddle. And someone like Brady, with as much experience as he has, I think not only do you trust him to call the right play based on strategy and all that, he's got the pulse of the offense and the defense.
Right.
As high as his football IQ is at this point, like I think he knows, like, that guy's tired. This dude hasn't, that DB hasn't been paying attention the last couple plays.
Oh yeah, this
This
is a guy
this
who has
this
spent the
linebacker's
last
been,
week or two looking at every single
mhm,
idiosyncrasy that each player has. So yeah,
mhm.
he knows. He knows when, oh boy, he twisted his ankle and it's
Yeah,
not feeling right,
yeah,
or yeah, when
yeah.
he's tired but he
This
doesn't
guy's
have
been
his hands
cheating.
on
Yeah,
his knees. Yeah.
this guy's been cheating the last few plays, like showing blitz, and I know he's not gonna. This receiver, he dropped the last pass I threw him, or this guy didn't. So
Right.
he's thinking on that level too, and so I trust him to like make the right call. And maybe you just go, Tom, you call it, and he goes up there and he's like, okay, let's do a run play,
Right.
because I see how the line's been blocking for, Leonard's ran off, 10 yards the last time he got the ball, like whatever. So long story, long answer short. I just let Brady make the call.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I agree.
So,
Yeah, I think you got to at that point. So cool.
yeah. So yeah, like we said, one topic, two choices, that, and I don't even know if I followed the rules this time, but whatever. That's how we're gonna do it on this segment. Again, like, what would you do? Will you expect to see this every week in between, our full episodes, and that and much more to come, in this new year for the pod. We're going to be doing a lot of, hopefully growing a lot, building the audience a lot, bringing you guys some cool stuff. So yeah, look forward to it.
Yeah, I'm really excited for 2021. We've been slacking a little bit to the beginning. A lot of things that I'll cover on my end for our next episode of Bring Your A Game. We'll keep this shorter, but yeah, we're going to be bringing you guys some pretty awesome content, eventually some giveaways. I mean, some this, some that. So, but it's just all about building this community, building this channel up. But yeah, more importantly, make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit that thumbs up, ding, and drop a comment down there. Let us know what you would do. What would you do in this situation? It doesn't just have to be runner. I mean, how, like Amar said, would you let Tom Brady make that call? Or would you call the pass? Or what would you do? So let us know. Drop those comments. Thank you so much for checking it out. And as always, have a good night. Peace.